day, viewers. We are here again. My name is Evangelist Michael Alunge. A lot of our members in the business world, corporate world, to say, doing wonderfully well. One of those people is Mr. Tosin Olorokun. Mr. Tosin Olorokun is the CEO of Tosin Concepts and Events. They are into managing events and decorating events. I mean, sometimes when I look at when I check his status, I'm always like, wow, this guy is really doing well. He has been one of the people in Celesta celebrating people, packaging and managing the events. Sometimes when I check his status, I'm always surprised how beautifully he handles people's events and all that. So today we have Mr. Tosin Olorokun with us. You will hear from him as we come back shortly. Okay, welcome back. Mr. Tosin, how did you come about the name Tosin? Obviously it's a nickname.
Yes, so it's a combination of my name and my wife's name.
Oh.
So my name is Tosin, obviously, and my wife's name is Hannah.
And
so we now change the S to X.
Oh, okay.
So to make it sound a bit better.
Okay.
So that's what.
So briefly tell us about yourself.
Okay, my name is Tosin Olorokun, and I'm an event consultant. I plan and coordinate corporate social events, and I've been doing this officially for the past 11 years.
Wow.
So the event thing started back in school when I was in Olabisi and Obanjo. I've always liked to be behind the scenes, So I like to, when I see concerts and I see how beautiful it is, I always imagine that, okay, this beautiful stuff is being put together by some set of people. And I prefer to be behind the scene than to be seen, at least to make things happen. So I had my first show back then in school when I think I was in 300 level. And I remember the ticket was just 100 naira at Oru Town Hall. And then we had some artists from Lagos. We had some people from school as well, We didn't do well with the sales of tickets.
Okay.
But trust me, after the event, I knew this is what I was going to be doing, like planning events. It was a push for me. So when I finished school, I did few concerts for some churches. Even the first concert I did was for a Redeemed Church. Actually, the church is it's still at Akirele,
okay,
and close to Falolu. And I did their concert. Then we had Tosin B, we had BJ Sachs, we had all these guys are big boys now, okay, in the gospel.
Like you.
So I was doing that, and I was looking at the business angle of it. Okay. That, okay, if I'm not doing concerts, if I'm not doing production, what can I be doing? Then that was when I met one of my friends. He does weddings. So I was like, we can be doing this, and if I have events, you can come with me. And I was like, weddings look a bit troublesome and clumsy to me. Like the way people just call you, please, I need I bring plate of rice and all that. So I didn't see it. You understand? So for me, I felt it was not my thing. So he forced me to join him for one of his events, and I picked interest in weddings, And after my findings, the lucrative part of the event is also in weddings and birthdays, which is the core social part of the event. So I developed interest in weddings, birthdays, and and here we are today.
So what will you record as challenges?
So challenges for event management is a lot, because people are putting the whole event in your hands. So what it means is that nothing must go wrong. So you are like a small god. You have to put everything together. All the things they can't think about, you have to think about it. You understand? So before they wake up on the day of their event, you are in the venue.
Of course.
You understand? Making sure that what they paid for, and they are getting value for it. So it is important that you deliver. So the challenges is that you have to, I won't call it a challenge, but it's a task, really. You have to be at your best. You have to.
Was there any time you couldn't deliver? And how did you get out of it?
Okay, so I had a job I had a job. Yeah, I actually met the guy when I was in camp. His name is Tunde. He's a surveyor. So that morning, everything went well. Okay, I'll start from the pre-event. That was when the wahala started. So that is one event I will never forget. So he didn't have an idea of event, obviously. So he now said he wanted to get married, that he knew that I mentioned that I do events. So then I used to stay in Egbeda. Then I was not married. So I left my house like 2 hours before. And Lagos happened to me that day. And when I tell you Lagos happened, that's traffic. So I was stuck along that road for about 4 hours. So all my vendors came to the venue, my clients came to the venue, everybody came.
And the event
and I wasn't there. I was driving and I was crying, I was weeping.
Wow.
I left that place the following week. I moved out from that house to tell you how bad it was. Wow. On the day of the event, a lot of things happened. The caterers, because we didn't have vendors meeting, there was a lot of disorganization, you know. In fact, it was so bad that when the couple were dancing in, the gen went off.
That would have been a very
you know, blow. We pulled the gen, the DJ was crying. So there was a lot of things that, you know. So for me, it was just a check and balance thing for me that, okay, I almost thought that, is this really what I'm supposed to be doing?
Did you think of giving up that moment?
I almost did. But thank God,
have done that.
Thank God for people that like my mentors and my senior colleagues, you know, because there's always somebody you need to run to apart from God. People that will share their experience. Okay, is that what happened to you? Let me share my own story. You now hear war stories. So those are the things that, you know, made me feel like, okay, I need to do this thing better. You know, so there are several challenges when you deal with some clients that are not reliable, they are not trustworthy, you know, they don't stay true to their word. They owe you, you know. So, but event is a very lucrative business.
What motivates you? What drives you to do those beautiful things I see on your status?
Okay, so for me,
you go somewhere to learn it, especially your work, because your work is, I don't know, it's also...
So, motivation is God, and okay. I'm a very inquisitive person. I'm always trying to look for what is different. I like to do things differently, and I poke-nose a lot, you know. So entering this place now, I've seen, okay, this cable is not supposed to be here. We're supposed to do trunks, you know. So I'm that kind of person. Okay. So that, okay, those sound...
behind this camera will discuss.
So there are some things that I think is just from God. Okay, so when I get into some spaces, I get unnecessarily creative. Like, I just look at faults, you know, and I say, okay, if this socket is not here, where can it be? If this flooring is not here, if it's not brown, how can it be? So personally, I have that inside of me, you know. So now I would now try to read on it and do research on it based on my own job. So that's what prompts my own creativity. If people say, okay, this stage has to be here, there's nothing stopping, from the creative angle of it, there's nothing stopping the stage being in the middle. You understand? If it's in the middle, do you think you get more traction? Will it make more sense? You know. So for me, I just want to be different. You understand? So all those exceptional style of working, those are the things that, you know, really drives me, and it's been working.
Now, how did you meet the progenitor of Lule Concert? Because he is someone that is thorough to, you know, the way he does his things.
Yeah.
Did you meet in this line of business, or you met?
Okay, it's a long story, but I'll make it as brief as possible. Okay, so there is this project we were trying to do, and fortunately, we had some present members of Lily Concert that were talking about it. You know, it was supposed to be a project that's supposed to be for youth, and it was. I started it then. I wanted to change the narrative of a lot of things about Celestial Church. All this because of what is going on in our church. That okay, what can youths do differently? So probably when people see this, it's going to bring people together as different youths. So fast forward to 7 years ago, I think he had a vision as well. He had a vision about, he said he saw people in a very large gathering, white garment, you know, praising God. And he spoke to So we have a chairman in Lily Concert for the last edition and this edition. So he spoke to him and he spoke to some people as well that, okay, I have this vision. I've been on it for some years. How can we make it happen? So when he spoke to that person, the person said, okay, I think I have somebody that can, that has a, you know. So that person now spoke to another person, and that one too said he has somebody. So both of them were now talking about me, that okay, that. So fast forward to when we met him, so we all said, okay, let's meet him. So we went to his office and we started brainstorming. He was explaining the vision to us, and like, okay. And that was what started Lily Concert, because we had an existing idea, and you know, God is a God of, is an intentional God. So I just felt it was just meant to happen.
People that would do the job.
And that was why it looked easy for us to put it together in like 2 months, because the first edition was like, the planning process was like 2 months, and God was able to showcase himself.
That's fantastic. So coming to the church, I've been seeing you in some churches doing some things pre-harvest.
Okay,
you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so there are some things that I'm really concerned about in this church because of the perception people have about Celestial Church. I've met clients, countless clients, millionaires, billionaires that will say, are you a Celestial? And I'm like, say, yes. So they will argue with me, and I was like, are they supposed to write something on my face? You know, at times I have to open my phone to show them that, okay, this is me in garments, so that you understand that even recently I've started posting Celestial events on my page. I don't used to do that before, you know, but so trying to provoke my mind that, okay, what can we do in this church that can be different? So one of it is the unveiling. You know, I started with concert because there are some churches that I did for Festa Parish, I did for Ilasa Central, and my own parish as well back in the days. That how can we change the setup of Jamboree? Some people just put stage and all that. So we started introducing red carpets. We started introducing branded shirts. So we're doing that. So now that we're doing Luli concerts and bigger events, Ojutin last, you know. So when we wanted to do Makoko, because if you know the convener very well, if he's called to do any assignment, he's always calling us. Before he says yes, he'll say he has to speak to his boys, his guys. So he called us as, guys, there's another assignment, you have to do this. So, and it was Makoko's 70th. So we just said, okay, even before we do the harvest itself, can we unveil the name? So that was when we came up with the concept of unveiling, you know. So we have an in-house graphics person that is a very fantastic guy. So we spoke about it, okay, how can we unveil this thing and not just taking clothes off, you know. So just okay, can this thing revolve? So we produced a revolving platform. You know, we had fireworks, we had, you know, I can share pictures with you so that you can insert it in there. You know, so we did it, and the church was even able to raise funds out of it, because presentation matters. You know, when people saw it, people online were even sending donations as well, you know, to support the harvest. So after then, people started contacting some parishes, like I've done for Zion, I've done for Abuja Central, you know, and some other churches I can't remember right now. And since then, a lot of people have been doing the harvest unveiling thing, and the picture keeps changing, so the idea keeps...
So the concept is strictly other Tosin concept?
Yes, it's Tosin.
That means it's not charitable?
It's not charitable.
So how much money do I have to have in my pocket before coming to you?
No, you don't. I don't work on street budgets. I'll just put everything to you that, okay, this is what is obtainable. You know, just the way I don't impose vendors on people, you know, so I don't, but there are some things that there's a boundary, you know, because we don't settle for less.
Okay. Let's, because why I want to ask this question is because of your involvement with Luli Concert.
Okay.
When Luli Concert came, I think it's changed a lot of perception about the way God should be praised in churches, in parishes.
Right.
And recently, people are just I'll call them leaders of tomorrow. I don't want to call them hooligans. I don't want to call them omota. Or leaders of tomorrow. They come up with all kinds of songs, you know, change the concept. And do you think that is okay to be imported into the music, celestial music?
So because of the way our church is, you know, it's a very sensitive church. It's a spiritual church as well. So I wouldn't say that importing some kind of music is right or is wrong, but we need to have it at the back of our mind that people are really watching. Because if 3 of us are going in our mufti, you can't tell where we are coming from. But if 3 people are going and 1 person is wearing garments, you can tell that church Lutin, it might be, you know, but people will just have it in their mind that it's coming from church. So a lot of people are looking at us. So anything we do will be picked on, you know. So we just have to be careful. We just have to be careful with our utterances, with places we go to, you know. Passing a beer parlor, if you are standing right of a beer parlor, somebody can take your picture and say you are coming out from that place, you know, because you are wearing garments. So we all know what is right, except we want to sweep it under the carpet. And so we need to be more careful about things we do so that people don't misinterpret it. You know, some people say that that probably we are discriminating, that we don't want to call some people to Lily concert. That we don't, but that is not the point. There are some kind of music that triggers your manly body, your human body. It has to do with the genre of the song, you understand? So, and this church, we have a lot of things we want to fix. You understand? So we have to do it gradually. Are you able to control your kind of fans with your kind of music? Are your fans, do they have decorum? Can we talk to them? Do you understand? So we need to be able to sort that out. I don't think we have that power
to handle or manage such.
We are not saying they are devils. We are not saying they are children of Satan. But we are still doing things that we can manage as humans first. So it's not as if we are discriminating, you know, or trying to say these people are better, these people are holy, you know. So, but there are some ways that, like if you look at experience, the kind of crowd they have, the money they spend on barricade is not up to the money we spend on barricades. The money we spend on barricades, why are we spending it? It's because we are using barricades to control people. They don't need it. Because once their pastor say, everybody sit down, everybody sit. If our pastor says everybody, would they sit? There was a particular year, I think that was the year I met you. Some people were carrying, somebody volunteered, like 2 people, they volunteered themselves. They stood in front of that barricade and they were helping people. They were carrying people.
Volunteers?
Yes. They were carrying people. Do you understand? They were helping people that, do you want to go to VIP? Let's carry you. You know? That won't happen. We spend so much on barricades just because we want to cage people, you want to control. So it's our people. It's our people. If we get to that level, some things will definitely change. Yeah.
Okay, now for next Luli, what do we expect, or what should the people expect? And when is it likely to? Because they said the date has changed.
Yeah, very soon. It's not my place to do the announcement, but very soon on our social media platform. But what I'm sure about is that it's going to be exceptional because we've missed outdoor. COVID has dealt with us for like 2 years, you know, and the last one we had at Federal Palace was indoor. So we had a lot of constraints, time, space. But this year, by the grace of God, it's going to be huge. And the announcement is coming in no time.
So for those members, youth, the emerging generation who wants to be like you, who want to go into event management, what are those 5 things they have to do? So
just be consistent. You know, what has worked for me is consistency, you know, and stay true to yourself. There is nothing that is not possible. You understand? There is nothing that is not possible. And don't walk in anybody's shadow. Be that yourself. That thing you want to be, that thing you like, that thing you have passion for. Just go for it. And there's a God factor. You know, no matter how you do for your fine boy or your makeup and all that, you still have that closet where you go to and tell God that God, I'm back. Because he's the God of good and bad boys anyway. So stay true to yourself, keep up the energy, don't give up. You will be tired. It's okay to be tired, but the most important thing is stand up again, keep moving.
You've heard it all. Don't give up, stand up again, even if you fall, and keep moving. That is what the creative minded person I just said, Tosin, Tosin, or Olorokun, the owner of Tosin Concept and Event. So if you want to be like him, he's handsome, you can see.
Yeah.
The truth, have this mindset of doing good, have this mindset of knowing you're good, have this mindset of I can do it. You don't have to. I mean, self-love is the most, it's the best thing you can ever do for yourself. If you don't love yourself, you'll be able to get out of whatever situation you have found yourself. So thank you so much, Mr. Olorokun, for having you. I hope when next we call you, will be
definitely. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, we come again shortly.